Family Leonardo, me Nasila did on multimedia, the CEO voice of Salon. Today I come for talk to now, my family, make una continue to subscribe to our YouTube channel and share to our friends them. As we always try to bring for the latest news what they happen around Salon, whether it be politics or any other news them what they happen or gossip what they bring out to una live and direct. So please, my family, don't forget to subscribe and share to our friends them. You wanna touch the bell icon so that you no miss any video we will try for bring out to una. So that's also we want make una don't forget also for subscribe to we TikTok channel on TikTok and also on Facebook or Facebook page or the Voice of Salon or also the on Instagram Voice of Salon, please family and don't forget to share. Okay, thank you now, tata.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل وجعلنا من بين أيديه سدا ومن خلفه سدا فأحصيناهم فهم لا يبصرون توكلت على الله ولا قوة إلا بالله ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت سميع العليم وتب علينا يا مولانا إنك أنت التواب إبراهيم إن أمره يرى شأن أن يقول له كن فيكون فسبحان الذي بيده ملكوت كل شيء ولا ترجعون إن الله والملائكة يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلم تسليما لبيك ما بعد السلام عليكم يا جماعة والمسلمين والمسلمات Ramadan Kareem, Ramadan Mubarak. Shalom to we Christian brothers and sisters, both home and in diaspora. I wish you a peaceful and a happy Lent season. This is the golden voice of the APC Encyclopedia, the Britannica, the socio-political analyst, the voice of the voiceless, the whistleblower, the lion of the social media, the regional publicity secretary, Southern Region, under the ticket of the mighty, indomitable All People's Congress Party. Forward ever, backward never, until the prize is won. No retreat, no surrender, until the prize is won. Fellow Sierra Leoneans, ladies and gentlemen, listeners all over the globe, as we all know, say, the encyclopedia media always embark on civic education for continue for educate, inform, sensitize, conscientize, and raise awareness to we people. Now we lovely and Dali Mama Salon on daily happenings and on burning issues. So we stay tuned, we stay fixed, we stay blessed, we stay connected to the encyclopedia media for listening pleasure is absolutely guaranteed. TGIT. Thank God today na Tuesday, we na the 17th March 2026. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leoneans, comrades all both home and the diaspora. Today we get two topics there in one presentation where we present to we fervent and we respectable listeners. Number one, the saddest thing about betrayal is that it never comes from your enemies. It comes from those you trust the most. Number two, if there is no enemy within, the enemy outside can do us no harm. And we quote today, it come from Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who say, nothing is more dangerous than sincere ignorance and conscientious stupidity. So we stay connected to the encyclopedia media. But before ever we go to a presentation, Lord, we take this.
Martin Luther King Jr. once said, "Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. Silence in the face of injustice is complicity. When you stay silent, you allow wrongs to continue unchallenged. Your voice is a weapon. Use it. Think about what sets your soul on fire. Equality, justice, human rights. Fight for these. Don't wait for others. Be the one who steps into the fray, who shouts the truth. Crush fear and complacency. Every time you speak out, you shake the foundations of oppression and inspire others to join you. Don't be a bystander. Be a warrior for what's right. The time for action is now. Be relentless, be fierce, and let your voice thunder against injustice.
I hope you enjoyed that, ladies and gentlemen, fellow listeners. The saddest thing about betrayal is that it never comes from your enemies. It comes from those you trust the most. This I for say, the saddest thing about for betray, it not they come from your enemies there, but it come from the one that we trust the most. If there is no enemy within, the enemy outside can do us no harm. If you don't get enemy inside your house, the enemy outside, no they do you no harm. Then say, if he which man able you, now for look under your foot. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leoneans, that tell we about power and wickedness.
You know, some people get power and become wicked. Some get a little fame and they lose respect. Some people get money and they forget integrity. But listen carefully. When the title is gone, only character speaks. How you treat people when no one is watching, that is the real you. Stop building only ambition. Build value. Because what you have can be taken, but who you are will follow you everywhere.
So, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leoneans, that's not the word that. Kapu sense, no kapu word. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leonean comrades all both home and the diaspora. So they saying the saddest thing about betrayal is that it never comes from your enemies, but it comes from those you trust the most. Now that betray the All People's Congress Party and the voters of Sierra Leone. You be the judge. This is not the APC leadership, the APC parliamentary leadership, the APC wannabe flag bearers, and the former chairman and leader of the All People's Congress Party, when I be the chairman and leader for life, former President Ernest Bai Koroma, today languishing in Nigeria in exile. Ladies and gentlemen, they are the enemies within. We aid and abet the enemy outside for destroy the mighty, indomitable All People's Congress Party. Because of hate, because of ego, because of hubris, because of superbia, because of selfishness, because of malice, because of resentment, because of antagonism, because of unprogressiveness, because of two-faced and self-protection on them past loot. Betrayal, not they come directly through your enemy, but within. Jesus Christ, he trusts in disciples so much that one of the trusted disciples, na in seller to his enemies when a Judas Iscariot. Samson was a great warrior, a hero, a trust. He made it mistress so much that he sell in life to his enemies. Joseph, Nabila Yusuf alayhi salam, na a half brother then, and then go sell him to slavery. Ladies and gentlemen, the great Julius Caesar was betrayed by his own best friend, Gwena Brutus. President Thomas Sankara of Burkina Faso was betrayed, overthrown, and toppled by his best friend, his childhood friend, Gwena Blaise Compaoré. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been attempt for amend the constitution for extend in 27-year term to the 2014 Burkinabe uprising, we left him for resign and flee to Ivory Coast, La Côte d'Ivoire. In April 2022, he was sentenced in absentia to life imprisonment after being found guilty on complicity in Sankara's murder. So in our Sierra Leone perspective, Ali Kaba, na the Minde, na the Mataba Hotel, in Charles Dagbana Gange Taylor, and Kukuja Samba Sanye for count the rebel war na Sierra Leone. Why he be left Corporal Police Sebana Sanko na the battlefield as a battle commander, where they carried the 11 years brutal, bloody, deadly, nasty, and devastating rebel war na the Republic of Sierra Leone, where they kill over 50,000 Sierra Leonean citizens only for the SFP kind of power. Where they begin now they use stronghold when Abomaru village, Upper Barbara Chiefdom, Kailaon district, Eastern Sierra Leone on the 23rd March 1991, where Chief Captain Sam Inganoma na be the head of the SLPP Civil Defense Force, Deputy Minister of Defense, and also na been the pioneer the CDF, Civil Defense Force, what they call the Kamajos. At the end of the day, when in fact, follow the SFP kind of power, would I betray for the Sebana Sanko? Would I betray President Kaba? Would I betray Sam Inganoma, that the same SLPP party? The National Provisional Ruling Council gang up together with some SLPP elites then for overthrow the Momo-led APC government on the 29th April 1992, then carried Captain Valentine S. Gravo Melvin Strasser as head of state, who was later betrayed, ladies and gentlemen, by Ion Deputy Wenamada Bio. The same MPRC formed the MPRC2 led by Julius Madabio in January to the 29th March 1996, with a force for handover power to Ahmad Tijan Kaba. Ladies and gentlemen, now would I betray the All People's Congress Party, a two-time flag bearer and presidential candidate, now former President Kuruma, the APC CEO 001, when Alhaji Minkailo Mansare, ladies and gentlemen, and the CEO 002, when Alhaji Usman Fode Yansane, today in the acting national chairman of the All People's Congress Party, where this Alhaji Usman Fode Yansane is a childhood friend to His Excellency, the President-elect, Dr. Sapura Matthew Wilson, blessed, grace, anointed, favor, liberator, fue minta, fue clitenteng, fue tenkline, kanapi, betembeng, Joseph Wisdom Kamara. Ladies and gentlemen, so for all the one in the Usman Fode Yansane, it just feel like a Brutus. If everybody they jamfara, if everybody they jamfara, His Excellency, the President-elect, ladies and gentlemen, this man, enough for don't intervene. This man, enough for mix. When then throw you out. Somebody will go pick you in the streets. He pick your luggage there. He go give you place for sleep. He pay you college fees. He do everything for you. Till you done your college. Till you become somebody. At the end of the day, the payback time don't come today. Instead of you pay them back good, you pay them bad. This now the dangers of betrayal. Fellow Sierra Leonean comrades all, both home and the diaspora. And I make them say, the saddest thing about betrayal is that it never comes from your enemies. It comes from those you trust the most. Would I again, within the All People's Congress Party, where somebody trusts, like Alhaji Usman Fourier Sane, where Dr. Samura Kamara trust. When I listen to what he be go talk, now London, and the behavior where they comport himself today to the public, locally and internationally, ladies and gentlemen.
Rise above the differences of for the greater good of our party and our country. Ladies and gentlemen, we are all aware that there are divergent opinions within the party on how to proceed. Some ask, do we move on from the fight for electoral justice and focus on preparing for the 2026 election and eventually the 2028 elections, the 2026 convention, and later the 2028 elections? Others argue that we must focus solely on electoral justice. Let me be clear. This is a non-starter. We do not fix the wrongs. If we do not fix the wrongs of the 24th of June 2023, our chances of winning a majority in future elections will be next to impossible.
Ladies and gentlemen, the man that we say yesterday, Hosanna, Hosanna, today, now the same people that we say, crucify him, crucify him. These are the dangers of betrayal. Blaise Compaoré, now imagine the killing of a childhood friend when our president Thomas Sankara, the 1987 assassination. He betrayed his best friend because of power, because of money, with a promise by France. So France used the enemy inside for pass-through, ladies and gentlemen, so that they were able to get rid of Thomas Sankara. The enemy within, now Blaise Compaoré, for do the dirty work for them. The same thing where the bureaucracy do for pass through them people they are. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leonean comrades all, both home and the diaspora, with all the over 8 attempted assassinations on the life of His Excellency, the President-elect. The same man where they don't miss with over 8 attempted assassination. Because of hate, and the same man in the label say, the man is a coward. So what are the hidden dangers of the enemies within? The enemies within, they eat with you. They dine with you. They interact with you. They sleep with you. They work with you. They plan with you. He understand you. He know you schedules them. He know if you absent or you present. He get access to your home. He get access to your wife. He get access to your picking them. He get access to your family there. He or she is trusted the most. But later, now the same trusted people there, they turn around and stab you behind your back. Then they hate you, but pretend they love you. They are secret killers. They are hypocrites. They are parasites. They are demons. They are vampires. Then they come to you with crocodile tears. Behind you, they support you. And behind you, they try to eliminate you. But Oda God bless, no one cause. For we have passed the worst, hypocrite and parasite. In the morning, they are human beings. In the night, they are vampires sucking the blood of the innocent. Ladies and gentlemen, on the Fridays, you see them dressed in gowns for going on mosques. On Sunday, you see them dressed with coat and necktie for going to church. But inside them, they are evil, they are betrayal, they are envious, they are manipulative, they are deceptive, they are duplicitous and vampirous. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow listeners, comrades all, both home and the diaspora. The Bible is right. And what in the scriptures they say in the book of Jeremiah 17, verse 9 to 10. They say the heart of man is desperately wicked and deceitful. Who can know it? The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? The Lord shuts the heart, and according to the fruit of his doing. King James Version. Our hearts can lead us to do wrong things, accept bribes, favors for destroying your brother. People then go be misled by money, by power, and worldly material benefit. So the heart is desperately sick with evil. No wonder former President Kabas say, Solomon get bad heart. According to Jeremiah 7 verse 13, it says, while you were doing these wicked things, says the Lord, I spoke to you about it repeatedly, but you will not listen. I called out to you, but you refused to answer. This was how the grassroots, when they call on to the APC leadership, when they advise the APC leadership, the media activists then they advise the APC leadership, when they narrate history to them, the dangers of the state looters political party, from colonial independence to date. Now what they don't pass, but they know you read. They become stubborn, they become recalcitrant, they become egoistic, they become perversive. Today, they have entangled themselves in the net of the devil for money and favors. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leonean comrades all both home and the diaspora, we advise them for let them fight for the basin, but then prefer, say, they know they fight for the basin, but they prefer the remnant. Today, they don't see the consequences. True trouble, one God. Today, whose side they don't put themselves. They don't fear the dangers of the grassroots, and they don't fear the danger of the master. When a papio, they don't find themselves middle of the sea for drown, because then compromise their birthright, then compromise their integrity. For the Kirio just say, where you want all, you go lost all. These are the dangers of what we call inconsistency, meaning changeability, not sticking to a predetermined cause. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leoneans, like the fish, wait till a man called Ambelang, or Turkaman Toko Bokti, or Beprokom, Kamagrang, or Yone on concern, Bokotako lesser. Then they go down the water, then go contaminate and pollute the water, come up and the clean one, pretend say, not to then go dirty and pollute and contaminate and vitiate the water. Then people are, they lack harmonious uniformity among things then or parts. Something will not go be trusted for stay the same in behavior or quietly in all situations. This is the lack of uniformity or stability, now a contradicted behavior, now unpredictable behavior, now irregular behavior, now a conflicting behavior, now erratic behavior, now incompatible behavior, now uncertain behavior, now irreconcilable behavior, now duplicitous behavior. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leoneans, now incongruous behavior and a mentally fragmented behavior. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow listeners, comrades all both home and the diaspora, inconsistency in human behavior is also known as mental fragmentation. When the thesis, when the mind, they fragment, or the mind, they become compartmentalized. Roughly, this means an agent overall belief state, we divided into several sub-state fragments, deductively closed belief system, mentally dissociated. This is a mental process of disconnecting from one in thought, from one in feeling, from one in memory or the sense of identity when a mentally unstable behavior. The Lucifer effect or the Luciferian effect in psychology. This is a phenomenon we first discovered and detailed by a psychologist when Philip Zimbardo after an infamous Stanford prison experiment. This theory is often described as the moment when somebody they step from being good or normal into a state of evil, when an unscrupulous demeanor. Some people they behave in a dishonest or unethical way. Unscrupulous behavior now the unfortunate result of many ambitious people. This is not the immoral stuff where they make success more attainable, ladies and gentlemen. We get moral unscrupulousness. A person, they get a moral unscrupulousness where that person, they not get no moral principle and they act dishonestly for personal gain. This is how the APC leadership and the APC parliamentary leadership and the wannabe flag bearers, then they behave. But the devil gets 3 D's. And waiting at the 3 D's of the devil. 1, na deception. 2, na distraction. And 3, na discouragement. So the electoral justice train cannot be deceived, cannot be distracted and discouraged. We are steadfast. We are courageous. We are determined. We are focused. We are relentless. We are resilient and resolute until the prize is won. And that is the restoration of our democracy and the rule of law. So the devil is a liar. We get rogue politicians then today with no manners. Where Englishmen say they are mannerless, they are discourteous, they are ungracious and uncivil. Ladies and gentlemen, the opposite of unscrupulous, na conscientious. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow listeners, comrades all, both home and the diaspora. If you not a person we unscrupulous, you are conscientious. Now I make Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. say, there is nothing more dangerous than sincere ignorance and conscientious stupidity. Ladies and gentlemen, we get 3 people that in Satan in mud. Waiting at them 3 people they are waiting at Satan in mud. Number 1, na Judas Iscariot. Number 2, na Marcus Junius Brutus. And number 3, na Gaius Cassius Loginius. Ladies and gentlemen, of somebody we not honest at all. Now somebody we deceitful. Now somebody we manipulative. Now somebody we na betrayer. Now somebody we mendacious. And now somebody we untruthful. Unworthy of trust or belief. Willful perversion of truth in order for deceive, cheat, or defraud. Fellow Sierra Leoneans, na so betrayer than they. We get rogue politicians then today, na Sierra Leone, we're selfish and greedy. Politically and psychologically, they are acquisitive, avaricious, covetous, ladies and gentlemen, and grasping. Then they show a strong desire for especially material possession instead of standing for the people. They become selfish and greedy. And greedy, they stresses a lack of restraint and often discrimination in desire. Uncivil behavior, some people then they behave in a way where they ignore common courtesy. So the psychology behind betrayal, na insecurity, hate and jealousy, external pressure, miscommunication or misunderstanding, the lack of empathy or moral flexibility, fear of self-protection, change in personal value or circumstances, mental health issues, and finally, power dynamics and control. This the psychology behind betrayal. One of the most common reasons for betrayal, now for self-interest. People then they betray others for gain power, for gain money, for gain attention. And the one they want to represent the APC today on the tripartite committee, we go examine the June 24, 2023 daylight electoral coup. Now they want them today where they parade up and down the nooks and crannies of Mama Salone for the APC 2026 flag bearer. The unrealistic 2028 agenda. Fellow Sierra Leoneans, comrades all, both home and the diaspora, because they're desperately desperate for become president. So they don't get no other idea. They don't get no other thinking. But now about themselves. Without them, they say nobody else. Ladies and gentlemen, so because they see that opportunity no go their way, now for betray the process, undermine or obstruct social, political, psychological, and natural justice. The same people there, wait till we say, we election victory in 2023 was stolen. Instead of we come together, we fight together for reclaim, we reclaim the stolen victory, then they campaign for a move on theory to 2028. Ladies and gentlemen, this is how betrayal is dangerous more than witchcraft. Fellow listeners, comrades all, both home and the diaspora. So, ladies and gentlemen, the saddest thing about betrayal is that it never comes from your enemies, but it comes from those you trust the most. If there is no enemy within, the enemy outside can do us no harm. Fellow listeners, comrades all, both home and the diaspora. So today, instead of fighting, follow we all come together, follow we fight together, follow we reclaim, we stolen victory, where the international community, they behind we, because of bad heart, because of ego, because of selfishness, because of superbia, because of hubris, because of fragmented behavior. Ladies and gentlemen, they say, no, although then Tifa, no lefa, so that they correct the mistake in 2028. Fellow Sierra Leoneans, the type of betrayals there, we get emotional betrayal, we get physical betrayal, we get betrayal of the truth, we get betrayal of safety, we get self-betrayal, we get betrayal by others, and we get sexual betrayals. But all them people there, now we all been go now the Makeni National Delegate Conference. They all contest for the presidential and the flag bearer race. And these were the elections results. Dr. Almami Tonkla Kamara, he will get 5 votes. Madam Susan Bona, he get 6 votes. Retired Major Paulo Conte, he get 10 votes. Ambassador Omri Goli, he get 21 votes. Lawyer Abubakar Kaloko, he get 6 votes. Mr. Abasi Kamara, 0 votes. Alikali Kamara, he get 1 vote. Dr. Richard Conte, he get 88 votes. AUK, winner Usman Usu Kuruma, he get 10 votes. Almami Petito Kuruma, he get 12 votes. Dr. Kefala Mara, he get 58 votes. Alhaji Ibrahim Kemosise, he get 10 votes. Mohamed Madi Sise, he get 3 votes. Mohamed Toure, he get 3 votes. Dr. Momo Vandi, he get 6 votes. Dr. Samura Matthew Wilson, blessed, grace, anointed, favor, liberator, one karuba, for ekli tenteng, for etenkline, kanapi, betembeng, Joseph Wisdom Kamara. He scored 1,382 votes out of the 16 we contest for the APC 2023 presidential flag bearer race. Upon all this disgrace and this disgraceful defeat, the same man again, he win the June 24, 2023 presidential elections. Out of the APC 71% RRF forms them, where then tender as evidence now the tripartite committee for examine the June 24, 2023 electoral cycle with incontrovertible evidence wherein the RRF forms and they ECSL proof say na them because ECSL workers then they sign. All political party agents they sign. Local and international elections observers they sign. And international elections experts there now they can peruse, now they can substantiate, now they can authenticate that 71% RF forms there. We, the APC leader, the APC flag bearer, the APC presidential candidate and the president-elect, a poll 57.15%. According to the European Union Election Observation Mission, the 96% RRFs they wouldn't get is Excellency Dr. Samura Matiwisi Kamara poll 58.3%. The elections were stolen in a daylight electoral coup using the barrels of the gun. The same man will defeat in Folkestone by the flag bearer raised. The same man will win the June 24, 2023 presidential elections. He no look say they were an away contest. He get trust in them. He get confidence in them. He appoints them again for let them go represent the party now the tripartite investigation committee for examining the June 24, 2023 electoral cycle and for compare and contrast the conduct of previous elections 2007, 2012, and 2018. Ladies and gentlemen, the man we can talk in the McKinney flag bearer and presidential race, when Dr. Kefala Mara, we polled 58 votes, Dr. Samura Kamara appointed for go be co-chair now the tripartite on behalf of the All People's Congress Party. It reposed trust and confidence in her. Today, now the same man don't betray that confidence and trust. Today, the man will then be appointed as co-chair. Now, in the lead negotiator today, the position where a leader will appoint a been get also now a 2026 contending flag bearer. Ladies and gentlemen, under the fraudulent agenda 2028. There comes the phrase, the saddest thing about betrayal is that it never comes from your enemies. It comes from those you trust the most. Dr. Kefala Mara, fellow Sierra Leonean, the man will call you for can eat, you hold your hand, is enough for it again. The dangers of betrayal. The deputy co-chair, when Dr. Richard Conte, will become second with 88 votes. Now the McKinney National Delegate Conference, the flag bearer race. Today, now they say, the position paper, where we all get, where the whole world get, where then talk say, knack them position paper, then divergent 4 recommendations, where they say the APC win the elections out of the 71% RF, where then peruse, now the tripartite committee, where then find out say, the tabulation of results has been flawed. They flout all electoral procedures then. The election became mathematical, improbable, and statistical inconsistencies. So therefore, the best option alternative would give the SLPP now a rerun. And that rerun day, if will be conducted by the ECOWAS Commission. Today, this man they deny say they don't mention rerun in the APC NAC position paper. In the APC 4 divergent recommendation. Because of what NTRB don't happen, the political tension in the country, because The man will get PhD in coup d'etat. Now he may talk say rig election they lead to war. Because of the tense situation of in Sierra Leone, the ECOWAS there not be once let work can as alone, because if he can as alone, it will disturb the entire region. So therefore, when they go on the ECOWAS 36 summit, they recommend say Sierra Leone forget a stabilization force for that they can help for the full implementation of the tripartite recommendation. Today that same man say, not to that, then talk. They not say them people then they come for camp pull, mother, put Samura Kamara to power. Now he stand by force. Now he lead that negotiation. Now he can find a place, Wusai, na Lunge, where they stand by force for Kande, for combat terrorism and other things there, now the sub-region. Ladies and gentlemen, where the video then they, you go now ECOWAS, the website, you will see and they, where they say, then they send stabilization force then at Sierra Leone. That would have stopped that. Where they give 10 million United States dollar for go meet Obasanjo then, for meet Good Luck Jonathan's then. The West African Elders Forum, we and the Microman lobby. Now them boil for let ECOWAS no come. Today, it is high, waiting all minds are be fellow Sierra Leoneans. Now make they say, if there is no enemy within, the enemy outside can do no harm. So the dangers of betrayal now for personal gain. Ladies and gentlemen, but the SLPP chief minister and the lead negotiator, they talk about 84 recommendations, while the APC representative on the tripartite, then they talk of 80 recommendations. When the convergent issues and they discredit the 4 APC recommendation when the convergent issue, ladies and gentlemen. But the reason is clear, explicit, and transparent. The convergent 80 recommendations, they talk about electoral reforms. So then electoral reforms they want, let them make the political stage for them so that they go win the flag bearer, win the 2028, and become president. We not to talk to Samura Kamara. While the 4 APC divergent recommendations, they talk about electoral accountability, restoration of our democracy and the rule of law, and for all accountable, all the one that we undermine the June 24, 2023 elections, ladies and gentlemen, including the elections management bodies. These are the people then wake up for face the ICC for the concerted conspiracy for commit an electoral coup against the people of Sierra Leone. So they're not comfortable with the position, ladies and gentlemen, because they all don't go rogue, because they all don't compromise. So if we then talk about that 4 APC divergent recommendations, then they trap them in, ladies and gentlemen, because most of them, they accuse them of sell out. They accuse them for play the barrow. They accuse them for take bribe, for sell the power to Pabio. Most of them, they accuse them for sell the RRF state of the APC, both the presidential and the parliamentary, to the state looters political party. But the saddest mistake we then do, you don't go on sign after you don't already sign. You don't go disaffix your signature where you don't already affix your signature. And remember the saying of late President Sheikh Stephen is say, "Uno faint late." That document will not be done sign. Kate Sullivan, when the Australian judge and the co-chair, when I said I feel Wakana, they don't take that document there. Can go now the United Nations Security Council, they don't table and they don't peruse them, they don't form a resolution. Fellow Sierra Leonean comrades all, both home and the diaspora. But you see, When some of them people don't go rogue, they don't want to see the truth. When some of them people don't go rogue, they don't want truth. Now lie, they lie. They want, ladies and gentlemen, even though the truth, everybody know the truth. Everybody see the truth. Everybody, they see waiting at the position paper of the APC. Everybody, they see waiting at the terms of reference of the tripartite committee, fellow Sierra Leoneans. But still, people that were stubbornly stubborn, people that were so wicked, people that don't get bad heart for them competent, people that don't want goodness for their own fellow citizens, their own fellow comrades there. Then they criticize, then they undermine, then they manipulate, then they do everything for destroy their young comrades. But listen, waiting will be get. Panda online conference, the virtual conference where the Sierra Leone advocacy movement been do. All them here for don't make them people here big sense. Then they continue for fool themselves, thinking that they are fooling the people of Sierra Leone.
Representative for the Secretary General. With that, we want to welcome him to come and speak to the way forward and why the implementation of the tripartite committee's recommendations is non-negotiable. That I go over to you, ladies and gentlemen, help me welcoming Mr. Julius Beckham. And you get over to you, sir.
Good evening, everyone. Accept greetings from Dakar, Senegal. I am here, as Doctor said, to represent the special representative of the Secretary General for West Africa and the Sahel, Dr. Leonardo Santos Simao, and it is a privilege to talk to you in that capacity. I am the political affairs officer in the UNIWAS Dakar office, and I'm also the desk officer for Sierra Leone. That's why I've been directed to come and talk to you. I've also had the honor of serving with the United Nations for over 25 years in various capacities and with several UN entities. Regarding the situation in Sierra Leone, the implementation of the tripartite committee's recommendation is not only imperative, it is actually non-negotiable. This is because it is a very decisive step to safeguard national stability, consolidate democracy, and also strengthen international cooperation, especially given the country's turbulent and violent recent past. It is for this reason that the international community, through the moral guarantors comprising the United Nations, which is duly represented by the special representative of the Secretary General, Mr. Simao. It also comprises the ECOWAS, the African Union, and they all remain fully engaged in monitoring and supporting this process. This is to ensure that the recommendations are fully implemented. It is imperative. In this case, we call on all Sierra Leoneans. They should place peace, national unity, and dialogue at the forefront. Dialogue is essential to resolve contentious issues and to ensure that the spirit of cooperation prevails. Without dialogue, this will not be achieved. All parties must work together, and they have to do this in good faith to overcome obstacles and their differences. Only through joint action can Sierra Leone achieve lasting peace and democratic consolidation. This is the short message I brought to you from the special representative, and to inform you that the international community stands ready to assist and to encourage every stakeholder in the peace process in Sierra Leone to honor this commitment. Thank you very much.
So, ladies and gentlemen, upon all the evidences they are, still betrayers, evil people there, where they undermine the party, where they undermine the country, where they undermine with democracy, and let Sierra Leoneans then continue for suffer. Where they go under, then bend under, then go under, then bend under, then feel them smart. But however, not longer, they must clean. So ignorantia do juris non excusat. Ignorant of the law is no excuse or defense. No wonder the expired executive then go for the PPRC, go impose them on the people of Sierra Leone, their partners in crime. Then it's try for legitimize or for legalize illegality, for let them legitimize illegitimacy, and for let them constitutionalize unconstitutionality, following the path of their paymaster, where they write the citizens of Sierra Leone on a stolen mandate, a PhD holder in coup d'etat, and they teach people then how to do a coup according to INWEF, from electoral coup to political party coup d'etat. The English adage is right. They say the friend of a thief is also a thief. Birds of the same feathers flock together. No wonder today, then they print the APC membership card there all over, pity pata. Then they emulate the power ideology, where they use for hijack the original Sierra Leone People's Party, where they form Namagema Chiefdom, Cambia District, today Northwest Sierra Leone, on the 27th April 1951. So again, the one come with them, now the APC, when are some People's Congress, we want for attack the APC party, but the APC is not like the SFP. The APC party was born out of constructive nationalism with the motto action, progress, and commitment on September 11, 1960. Not a non-starter. Ladies and gentlemen, ignoranza do juris non excusat. Ignorance of the law is no excuse or defense. It refers to the legal principle that individuals then no go excuse their unlawful action by claiming they were unaware of the law. You no go defend your action by arguing you did not know they were illegal, even if you honestly did not realize you were breaking the law. Ladies and gentlemen, would have first knack for issue a position paper, sign on behalf of the party, publisher, and give the international community, in tandem to the 71% of the RRFs presented by the APC to the tripartite, where they say the APC presidential candidate score a command lead of 57.15%, that we won the election. The only alternative when they get to the government of Sierra Leone, the SLPP-led government, because the election result, it get mathematical improbability and statistical inconsistency, a rerun to be conducted by the ECOWAS Commission. And the electoral commissioners therefore resign, including all heads of the electoral management body. So then people know, ladies and gentlemen, after they don't sign, now they no say, now then death warrant, they don't sign. So ignorance of the law is no excuse. Ignorantia those juries non-excused, and ignorant of God's law excuses no one. Leviticus 5 verse 17. Ladies and gentlemen, God say, you know, get no excuse for we ignorance. The Bible, then we hand. The Holy Quran, then we hand. The Sierra Leone 1991 Constitution, then we hand. The party constitutions there, then we hand. So we cannot plead ignorance. Political parties then they contest election for win election democratically, form governance for govern the govern. So winning an election, you say, Lord, we left hand, and Lord, wait for 2028 for another election, religiously, spiritually, biblically, constitutionally, democratically, na a great crime. When a crime way unforgivable, na knowing and doing. This not to ignorant, but na complicity, na a concerted conspiracy and a treasonous offense against the people of Sierra Leone. Now na the cause of what Sierra Leone they go through today. The skyrocketing of the basic commodity, the skyrocketing of fuel, the killing, the torture, the unlawful arrest, the unlawful incarceration, the bad things thing, the thievery where they go on at the country, the rituals thing where they go on the country, the political stalemate where they go on the country, the suffering, the poverty, the starvation, the joblessness, and the hopelessness where Sierra Leoneans they go through today. The cause it come up from the people they are, the APC leadership, ladies and gentlemen, fellow listeners, because they say if there is no enemy within, the enemy outside can do us no harm. Ladies and gentlemen, all waiting there while they do so today, now the All People's Congress Party, now they embolden them. So we get three types of ignorance. We get factual ignorance when at the absence of knowledge of some fact. We get the object ignorance when at the unacquaintance with some object. We get the technical ignorance when at the absence of knowledge of how to do something, while the factual evidence is that some of them people they are now knowing and doing, because some of them get PhD degrees, now PhD holders them. But today, we get the educated ignorance, where they exhibit a lack of introspection and stubbornly cling to their opinion, regardless of how irrational they may be. Then people here, then they demonstrate unwavering self-assurance and are often they completely obvious when are they your inadequacies. Ignorant people they know they always know what's best for others. Ignorant people then they act foolishly. Matthew 6 verse 33, the New International Version say, to those who put God first, to seek his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. For God in name one Jehovah, he mentions 7,000 times in the Holy Bible. Now a God of justice, now a God we impartial, now a God of righteousness. When I check the Hebrew scripture, God in name mention when a Jehovah 7,000 times. Jesus Christ say, do not give what is holy to dogs, meaning do not preach the things of God to hostile and unworthy people. We get three levels of ignorance. We get invisible ignorance, where not going to be overcome through reasonable effort. Fellow listeners, comrades all both home and the diaspora. We get visible ignorance, where going to be overcome, but it's not. They will get a concomitant ignorance concerning some wrongdoing, if they only be culpable ignorance with respect to the wrong-making features. While Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. he spoke of conscientious ignorance. When a willful ignorance for maintain the current progress and grasp the available information without focusing on something that is unexplainable with existing resources. So the precise definition of ignorance is lack of knowledge, lack of information and education, the state of being ignorant. We get double ignorance. Ladies and gentlemen, Plato one we say, the most dangerous form of ignorance, not to simply lack of knowledge, now through the Socrates dialogue. Double ignorance now is not knowing and not knowing that you do not know. Unlike ordinary ignorance, it will be corrected through learning. But double ignorance is self-sealing, ladies and gentlemen. So Marcus Garvey once said, if you have no confidence in yourself, you are twice defeated in the race of life. Meaning, life as it is, every single day come with struggles, come with challenges, come with obstacles, come with barriers, come with storm, and every single day we encounter these different things as a part of life. Marcus Garvey advocated that Africans control the wealth of Africa. He thought that control of resources, control of self, control of nation require preparation. Garveyism was about total preparation. Now, Inabe, the founder of the Universal Negro Improvement Association, when a union, the theme of Garvey in choice, ladies and gentlemen, now self-acceptance. A discover from slavery, a book by the African-American entrepreneur and activist Wena Booker T. Washington in book now heavily influenced Marcus Mosiah Garvey. The motto of Marcus Mosiah Garvey, now one God, one aim, one destiny. We still Paul sing in Rally Around the Flag. Marcus Mosiah Garvey was born 17 August 1887 and died in London 10 June 1940. Then buried na the National Hero Park na Kingston, Jamaica. Back in history, ladies and gentlemen. Ina be a British colonial subject and one of the most contradictory and enigmatic figure in the American history, both visionary and manipulative, a brilliant orator, a pompous autocrat, yet he was willing to collaborate with the Ku Klux Klan, KKK, an association of white extremists formed in the United States of America in 1866. Back in history. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Malcolm X, born 19 May 1929, Omaha, Nebraska, was assassinated on the 21st February 1965, Audubon Ballroom. He was an African-American revolutionary and Black nationalist leader who rose from a background of poverty, ladies and gentlemen, and in family disruption and criminal activity. Ladies and gentlemen, he was assassinated in height now 1.92 meters. Advocacy for Black empowerment and human rights. Malcolm X changed his name to several times throughout his life. Born Malcolm Little Jr., he eventually dropped his last name. He adopted the letter X for symbolize the loss of his family original from African name during the days of slavery. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., born 15 January 1929, Atlanta, Georgia, United States of America. The assassinator on 4 April 1968 in Lauren Motel, Memphis, Tennessee, United States. Now be a civil rights activist and a Baptist minister, leader of the civil rights movement from 1955 to 1968, back in history. The National Association for the Advancement of Colored People in America, NAACP, founded on February 12, 1909, including African Americans by a larger group, W.E.B. Du Bois, Ada B. Wells, Martin Luther King Jr., and Roy Wilkins. Roy Otto Wilkins, born August 1901, died September 1981 in New York, now be American civil rights leader from the 1930s to the 1970s. He was a powerful advocate, waited white man on the your mother's tongue on different occasions. The difference between come down and get down. He tell a white American woman the time we day on the pit, he dey preach for black freedom. The woman tell and say, let it come down from the pulpit. He corrected the woman. Ladies and gentlemen, he said, tell me to get down. Don't tell me to come down. When he tell me to come down, it implies that I'm on top of you. So Malcolm X was associated. Ladies and gentlemen, he was assassinated. Marcus Garvey was assassinated. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated. This tells you that freedom is not a cheap commodity. Ladies and gentlemen, to get down means to move from a place, a high place, to a lower place. To come down means something is on top of you, commanding that thing to get from you. The Queen's language is very, very logical. Freedom is not free. It must be fought for. It must be defended because it is a fragile thing. Ronald Reagan.